Well, hello,
Hello.
LaVender.
Oh, what timing?
Yeah.
Hello there.
Timing was great that time. We pretty well got it right that time, Miss LaVender. Wait a
Wonderful
minute, I don't
timing.
have your audio, Miss LaVender. How come I don't have your? Say it again. Talk.
Hello to the
Okay,
show.
yeah, I got your audio. I was thinking I was looking over at the wrong stream. Sometimes we don't have the same volume level, but we'll fix it today. How you doing, Sugar?
Wonderful, and welcome our viewers tonight to WBQP. And if you're watching social, welcome. Real talk, relationships, wind down Wednesday, whatever we call our show. Mr. Vernon Watson from WBQP and LaVender Williams, the Other Woman magazine.
All right, Miss LaVender Williams.
So our topic tonight, we're going to talk about relationships. So many topics in relationships.
What do you want to talk? I told you people like the juicy stuff that nobody else likes to talk about, LaVender.
What is that?
Sex and all this other kind of, I don't know, different stuff that people don't like to talk about.
I
I mean, they
know.
love to
I
talk about it, but they
know.
don't like to talk about it. They think certain topics, uh, not necessarily taboo, but people either a little shame to talk about it,
I,
don't want to talk about it, or maybe it's those things LaVender talking about. It maybe it's not polite in mixed company. You ever heard that saying? Not polite in mixed
yes.
company. Yeah, that's what. Maybe that's what it is. Okay, maybe we shouldn't talk about it because it maybe not be polite in mixed company.
Today, I don't think anything is,
Yeah, I
you
agree.
know,
I
it's
agree.
almost like anything and goes and
So what you
goodness.
want to
I
talk
don't
about? What do you
know.
want to talk about? I said um, several shows ago that we were going to talk about sex over 60, but you said nah. Yeah, you didn't want to talk about that.
Remember, not about anything.
Really? Do you?
Other Woman magazine, there is no topic I like to address what we like to sweep under the rug or hush. Not be an expert in it, but
So what's the
type,
so in the latest edition of the Real Talk magazine? I mean, Other Woman's magazine. What was the hottest topic?
the hottest topic.
Yeah.
I can't say what the hottest topic is, but
What's the most controversial topic?
uh, leading with lies. That you have men. Well, you had topic before. How men will tell you want to hear. That's basically what leading is in the relationship.
And
You're really not even talking to you. That's just a cover up. What do you call them? A representative. That is not even who you really are. You're full of love and your desire, your needs, and your goal with this person, yourself.
well, that's just life. Life in the fast lanes when people lead. That's those are the games that people play in relationships. A vendor. That's just the way it is. So I don't know.
So sad.
It might be sad, but it might be sad, but it's true. Yeah,
Mm,
might be sad,
mm,
but it's true.
mm.
But you don't want to talk about sex after 60. You think folks having sex after 60 years old? 80 years old
I,
or 90 years old?
I hope so. I think we touched on this last couple of weeks
Yeah, we touched on it.
about, yeah, because I remember you saying we were talking about getting being able.
Yeah. No, we
Yeah.
actually we was talking about um, STDs after 60. Remember that? And you didn't believe that people after 60 can get STDs.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, because that definitely is an issue. Um,
Sad.
yeah, yeah, sad.
What my mother told me, my mother told me, the seem the older we, the dumber we get. Don't have any sense. I don't know if we're trying to or hold on to our youth, afraid to age, wanting younger men. I was talking to a friend the other day. You got to go younger. Go younger. Because I believe it was tears. Her sister.
Uh-huh.
Is that is it older?
Yeah, she's senior to him. Yeah,
Okay.
he is a senior.
Yeah.
So
And
no, you go ahead. I want to know.
so
We call them cougars now. You know that, don't you? We call them cougars. They
yeah.
experience cougars. They can teach them. They can teach them young boys a few things too.
Um, it just works. Oh
But wait, and
Lord,
LaVender,
too much.
before we go on, did you get on? Are you live streaming?
I
Sometimes
am. I
forget
am.
to check
I
that.
take care of my.
Okay. I got one of our favorite fans just text me, and I'm texting her back. It's a she-mail, and I says London by our own right now. Okay, I'm gonna get to, and because she loved to hear us fuss. And you know what? You know what I found out though, LaVender?
What?
The more we argue, the more
Oh yeah.
people like it. I wonder why is that?
I know.
Because I'm right
No.
and you always wrong. I don't understand why in the hell they. Why excuse me. I be trying to educate you, but you hard headed. You don't listen.
I'm more practical of the two of us.
No,
You,
no. Mm-mm.
oh yeah.
No,
Oh
no,
yeah.
no. You the most. You more. What you call it? Delusional.
Okay. Say I live in my own
Own world. Yeah, you
world.
live in a fantasy. I live in
Live
the
in
real world, and
my
you
world.
live in the fantasy world. Okay.
I believe most benefit want the nature of man. But I always say if you can accept
Mm-hmm.
who he is in a relationship,
Uh-huh.
if who he is and not accept a man being, tell me, man,
Right.
have and I think women expect male peace. They want someone. We want. We want
LaVender. Hold.
them to be kind.
Okay. For some reason, I'm trying to. The reason I changed headphones on you because you were coming in and out. You're not. Your audio is not consistent for some reason. Right? And the reason I saw it on my meter, and I don't understand why is that happening. Um, but keep talking. Let me see if I can adjust anything on my end. But keep talking about unrealistic how unrealistic women are.
Okay, you use the word list. We do
Okay, so I lost your audio. I'm losing your audio. You got to do something on your end. I can't do it on this end here. Cause I'm losing you. I'm losing you. Oh, you like you coming in and out on your audio.
You and your testing. How about now?
Oh, now it sounds like you're down in the well.
Okay.
Down.
There's nothing else that I see to go on the microphone.
Okay. Okay. We'll keep talking then. Just go ahead and keep talking. I want to see what I can do on this end to compensate for it. But I sometimes just get you just get every other word coming out of your mouth. Okay.
It might be that it's the way that might be it. Nothing about Mother Nature. That might have
Okay, sugar.
area. There is no house. So can you hear me now? We lost the one we had. You and your equipment. So anyway, come back to and we were meant to be we want them to be caring. Men can't be there, but the quality that women naturally is not natural to be loving. And if he has to work at those things, he has to get a woman happy because we're different. What is that you always refer? Men are from Mars. We do. We expect ourselves of our, and that's what sets us up. And I believe what my favorite quote is Shakespeare: "Expectations, the root of all unhappiness." The root of all unhappiness is expectations. When you put expectations on another person, create a reason for them, you are definitely yourself for them because what's in your head, what you they are. Do you agree?
I'm
You
trying
weren't even listening. Good. Good. Just help me.
No, I was listening. I was listening to you, LaVender. But I was working here.
That's a
I was working here
example.
I was working here at the same
Prime
time.
example of not being attentive, not listening. That's funny. Acting like listening. My goodness, you just set the whole tone for the show. That's
Men listen to women.
ladies,
Okay, so were you saying
if
that
you can
men don't listen to
be
women?
okay. You
Are you
just
saying?
proved it. Proved it. You have listened. You got 2 ears.
What?
We get one.
Okay. So what would that tell you then, LaVender?
You guys are in your own world. You don't give a damn. You're
No, that ain't.
selfish.
Maybe you got to say something we want to hear. Now you were talking about something. You were talking about sex or something. I wouldn't have tuned you out.
See, selfish. So one way thoughts about sex. They used to couples and relationships, and men don't want to hear something with it. You have to end with it because if you say, can we talk today? They, oh my God, I got something great to tell you. And be like, what? Little. So if you go to your man and say, we tonight, or I got that we need to address off of. Same, different, but if to you and believe, you won't believe what I thought about today. Is that true?
Well, LaVender, I don't know about you, but the problem I have with your conversation is that I'm just getting every other word. If I can take off this mic because I can hear you, but what's going out on the air, I can't hear you. Are you just coming in and out?
Okay.
So
should we delay this till later date?
No, go ahead. We'll talk about it. It's just you just have to. You got some kind of delay on your end, so you got to start talking and continue to talk. So when you got to cut you off at the very beginning and cut you off at the very end of it. Okay. So, but anyhow, let's talk. Let's go ahead and let's work without it. Okay. We'll just work without it. Okay. All right. Now I'm listening. I got 100% now.
That's a male thing. Also, you all don't like to plan like we plan date nights.
Mm-hmm.
We like to plan getaways and time together. Whatever. You don't initiate those plans. And I'm not going to say all men. The kind of that is unrealistic. We want control and we want to be courted, no matter how long we're with someone. We want.
Well, what, from a man's perspective, though, we look at it. Why is all that so important? Huh? Well, why is that important? I know, but why? I need to understand why is that so important. Y'all have to go through all these rituals. I understand that, okay? But I'm just speaking from a man's point of view. Sometimes, huh? Yeah.
A date night is a ritual.
Yeah.
What is a ritual? So when a man is not supposed to be to man to court to take her out.
Well, LaVender, the problem with that is that they can do it, but y'all, you know, but they do it just as a ritual, okay? But they'll do it today, and then you expect it tomorrow, and then you expect it next week, and then next week and next week. But that's not who they are. That's not who he is. You know, and some men, you know, given, you know, some men may be like that, okay? But the man you run across, he may not like the pomp and circumstance. Take me for an example, okay? I'm just just in life in general, okay? I'm not I think I'm more attentive to women needs than most men, but just in life in general, for an example, I'm not a pomp and circumstances kind of a person. I don't care about birthday parties. I don't care about, you know, I didn't even, you know, when I went to my college graduate, I didn't go to my college graduation. I didn't do my civilian retirement ceremony. I didn't do my military retirement ceremony. I only ceremony I did, and I only did it because my wife hounded me to do it, was that when I got my master's degree, she wanted me to you know to participate in the ceremony. All that stuff is not important to me, but I only did it because she wanted me to do that. So I'm not a pomp and circumstances kind of a man, and some men are not romantic kind of men, okay? And they don't see the importance of doing all of that quote pomp and circumstances kinds of stuff for women. So recognize the fact that some men might, and if they do, good. But if they don't, why push it on them?
Well, as you already know, I'm an average woman. I don't care about that stuff either, but the majority It's just the whole men. Is it women is different? I don't know why. Don't expect those every day or other day, or for a man to be attentive because you all expect this every day. You expect that every day, but you don't want to put the work in to make us respond in some ways. You want us to just be able to turn it on and deliver without receiving the attendance, the care. Because how a man treats, I saw this on social media the other day, how a man treats a woman determines how much sex he'll get or woman on. Yeah, because if you treat us right, we'll treat you. We know what you want. Most women know men want. It's sex. If you job in the house and your wife thank you, you are probably waiting on a different type of thank you than words. You want sex as a thank you.
Right.
So
why should it be one way then? Why should we have to always come to the needs of the woman and she's not coming to the needs of the man? Okay, let me give you a case in point, okay? And not to be necessarily graphic of this, most men, okay, you hear most men always when it comes to sex, okay? And so most men, you know what they like in sex, okay? I can sum it up in 2 letters. They like BJ, right? But most women don't like giving them, okay? And it's always given as a token of, you know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. So if you know what his needs are and his lacks are, why aren't you attending to that? You want her. She wants you to be sensitive and to her needs. Okay. So why can't it be a 50-50 thing? It don't always seem 50-50.
Why can't it be?
Yeah, I'm asking.
Why can't it be? It can be.
Well, oftentimes it's
most
not.
Most men don't know how to that difficult. A lot of men think women are educated. We're just human beings who want to be. Men probably you are admired, but I think we're just selfish beings, men and women. And love about love is why I really know what love is. Love is when you're not thinking about your own needs. You're thinking about the other person's.
Right. I agree with
on the back burner. Yeah, but the case with men is it's all about sex. I just believe natural drive most men. It's a lot higher, but I know quite a few women who love to have sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it can't be 50-50, but why 50? Why can't it be 100 and 0? Why just start out? You say you guys start doing the right things, but those nice things kind of fizzle out after what you want. Get comfortable with the person. Stop those things that to get the
yeah.
And she's lost interest. And I think that might be just human nature. Vernon, love the stay relationship where you're to know one another. Once and changes. That's just horrible. And change. And sometimes the man will be gone, Physically, he's mentally gone.
Well, but what did they tell you though, LaVender? If you know that if a woman knows how important sex is to men, but y'all
Yeah.
weaponize it.
A lot of them know. And then that goes back to not understanding men, not understanding a man's needs. It's not just sex. The man's body has to have
Right,
sex.
right.
And a lot of women just don't understand that. The older women aren't the younger women. But the older women don't know, don't care. But that's they used to back in the day. You stayed home and your husband worked. They was and do her job in the bedroom, but she knew her.
Well,
Now the woman is working. She's tired. She's taking care. Different. It's
well, wait a
just
minute now, LaVender. Can I pause you there for a second?
please.
Okay. Now think about this for a minute. You talking about sex as, equivalent to you using it as work. Okay.
Uh
Well, let's
huh.
stick with that for a minute. Okay. Now, who actually do the work in the bedroom? Okay. So men the one to do the work in the bedroom, and in fact, it is so much harder to please a woman than it is for a woman to please a man. So if he cared about it, he wouldn't have to do the work in the bedroom, not the woman. The woman sometimes just lay
Oh,
there and enjoy it, but he has to do the work. Come on now.
rarely, and she enjoys sex, foreplay before he got in the bedroom. He wouldn't have to work as hard. Again, again. Understand? So yeah, we later. You said later enjoy it. A lot of people will fake up too. Okay, could be anything you want. Finish, hurry up and finish. Oh, I can tell stories. This is, oh God, oh my poor man. Oh my poor man. Yeah, it is so sad.
We do all the work, LaVender.
Thank you, puffing and puffing and God, if you all would do this, it's sad there. You and you, she would just endure. She would just
Do his duty.
do his business. She had a man. This no,
Hmm.
what not the man. She would to flush his was is it Suge Knight. Suge had a special love for this man. And as you always say, it's not about the sex, it's the person. So they have been friends for so long, lovers for so long. And when she came back into his life, it just continued. But yeah, do his business. Oh my goodness, that is so funny. That is so funny. You gotta change the subject because I will laugh through this whole shit. Yo, poor men. And then get up and talk about, are you all right? Am I all right? Why would I? What happened? Besides being unsatisfied and longing for something, I'm okay. Oh my God, I can't do this. Oh, somebody give me some tissue. Oh Lord. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Vernon, just keep talking.
LaVender, are you saying? Wait a minute. Are you saying that when you wasn't satisfied when you had sex in the bed? When you was married? Did you get satisfied every time y'all had sex, or did you get satisfied anytime
I'm
y'all
not
had
about
sex?
to share all my personal information, but I will tell you this because I wrote about it
Uh-huh.
in my first book, We Snap in Silence. Women don't always feel like playing sex goddess in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to pray for just to, oh my God, just pray to have sex. I just didn't want to. But then that goes to how you're being treated. A husband who is treating his wife, you know what I'm saying, halfway decent, she won't mind doing it. So mine is a little bit different, but the average woman who's in a happy marriage, whatever her happy is, she doesn't mind having sex with her husband, but probably not as much as he does. Because, and I say that just from the conversations that I have with the married women. I can't believe I cracked up and lost it like that. Lord have mercy. Oh my God. Y'all poor people.
We can see why you ain't got no man in your life. Yep, we can see that. You probably one of those. Hey, LaVender, you probably one of those women that poor guy. Now I begin to feel sympathy for the husband, but he probably worked so hard and he still couldn't
Oh
satisfy you.
shoot. Oh shoot. You know what? That's a whole different story. But if I'm ever in a relationship, and we talked about this before, just because I'm not married doesn't mean I don't know how to treat a man. I don't know what men need. You know what I'm saying? It's just like uh, chaplains, Catholic chaplains giving marriage, doing premarital counseling. You know, they've never been married, but that doesn't mean they don't have some knowledge of what it takes to make a marriage work. And I talked to
How
quite a
could they?
few,
How could they?
huh?
How could they?
They read. I used to work with chaplains. They read. They have desires just because they put on that gown, robe, whatever it's called. They're still men. They're men of God, but they're men.
But how would
And
they know?
experience. What'd you say
Well,
your teacher told you? You may not
what?
be an expert, but you're an expert of your experience.
Yeah, but again, how would an unmarried Catholic priest would know anything about marriage and can tell you about marriage and sex and all that kind of stuff, and they never experienced that. That's just like that sounds
And maybe they
not.
have. Maybe they became a priest. Maybe they weren't a priest all of their life.
Well,
I think,
let's assume for a second that they upheld all of the Catholics, whatever. Okay, let's assume that they never did, but then yet
mhm.
they counseling you on marriages and counseling you on sex. How can they be credible?
Books. They read, they study. Just like going to college and getting a degree. You may not have never uh, done anything with your degree, but you have that knowledge of it. You may not have never found a job for your
Oh,
degree, but you have that knowledge.
okay, now listen at this, LaVender. I hear you. I hear you. I don't know whether I
Uh-huh.
agree with you or not, but I hear you. It's almost like, and they can only do it to a certain degree if you ask me. It's just like a college professor teaching business, okay? But never owned a business in his life, okay? Never been out in the real world to know what it's like to be a CEO, and what the only thing he can teach is theoretical kinds of knowledge. But it's more to life than just theory, okay? Some of those theories don't work out there. It's just that. It's just a theory. But when you get
Yeah,
out there in the real world, then you have a whole different. Nothing substitute for the experience. Okay, nothing
you're
substitute for
right.
the experience.
You're right.
Once you experience it, then you know how to correct it. You know how to do whatever. But if you just based on theory, it's just not gonna always work. And that's the problem that I sometimes have with counseling. I'm an advocate of counseling. I really am an advocate of counseling. But
Premarital counseling or just counseling, period.
counseling, period. Counseling, I think counseling, premarital counseling, and counseling during marriage, and counseling after marriage, and all that, any kind of counseling you need for whatever your situation requires. I think that you should seek out counseling whenever you can. Okay,
Hmm.
but keep it keep it real. Okay, because counseling can only take you so far, because when a person tell you about your experience and what you should and what you should not do, he's not living in your world. He's not filling
Hmm.
your shoes. He's not there taking that beating every night that abusive person putting on you. He's not there, because all those circumstances are different. And so they can only tell you so much, and go so far with it. But but in the meantime, now, would you rather listen to, let's say for an example, if you was a battered woman, okay, and men and women are, okay, so you have an option to go to a counselor that's just read about it, or you went to a person that been through it and had personal experiences with it. Who would you give more credibility to? The person that's experienced it and became a counselor, or the person just read about it and became a counselor?
Well, most counselors have not been through that. Most counselors are, uh, I don't know what their degree is in, but when you go to a psychologist or a psychiatrist, they haven't gone through what you're going through. And the fact with the battered woman, um, I forgot the name of the organization, but they don't want battered women giving counsel to battered women.
Why?
They want the professionals.
Okay, what's the rationale behind that?
I have no idea. I've always wondered that myself. I have no idea. I don't know. When you have therapy, um, for anything, that therapist hasn't gone through everything her clients deal with, but they know psychology, they know the mind, they know behavior, and they sound like they know what they're talking about.
Well, they sound like it.
Military, military sexual trauma. I was in group therapy with a group of women who were victims of military sexual trauma. And the therapist, I mean, everybody deals with trauma of some degree in their life, but she
Mm-hmm.
had never been a victim of military sexual trauma. And it was never the actual incidents that were shared. We weren't even supposed to bring up the incidents. It was behavior, response to certain things in life, daily life. They just went a lot deeper than that. Whereas we probably wanted to talk about the issue, but then they have different types of therapy, you know, different types of group therapy where they can actually talk about those incidents. But these therapists have not experienced military, they ain't even been in the military. You know, that's a whole different ball game right there.
I know.
You're working in a male dominant field, whether it's military or not, and the therapists don't know anything about that. They don't know firsthand what a woman deals with. Say if she went on a ship full of men and the females are way outnumbered, or she was with a squadron or whatever, you know, corporate company, male dominated. You go to therapy, that therapist hadn't lived every situation. So I
Why
don't
would
know what the,
so why would one listen to him then?
you tell me.
I don't know. That was the question
It's the
I'm
way of the
asking.
world. Therapy, therapists, it's just the way of the world. They're qualified to give counsel, to, it's like preachers. They give counsel. They have not gone through everything, but they will give counsel to their members, godly counsel and forgiveness and whatever, because there's a situation in the Bible for, you can find it to fit any situation that somebody is dealing with, whether it be spiritually, mentally, financially, you know, I don't know. It's really the game of life, Vernon. That's the way it's played. And for some reason, we play it without asking questions, without asking the rules of the game and why.
Yeah,
It is how it is.
I know, but you know, I'm wondering is that always is the best to do that?
No, it's
Uh,
not. No, it's not always the best, but that's just the way it is. See, we ask questions. I was raised to ask why, to question
yeah,
everything.
me too.
Most people are not going to question, they're just going to go with the flow. Sometimes I wish I didn't have the mind to want to know the why behind everything, you know, just accept it and roll with it. But that's just not how I'm wired.
I know, but that's how most of the world wide. I probably told you this story one time about when I was in the sixth grade and I hated Miss Daly because she was my teacher, but I found referencing her throughout my life a lot because I didn't like the lady. But she was teaching us one time, LaVender, about etiquette.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she's supposed to, we're supposed to do this, supposed to hold your hand, don't put your elbow on the table, women shouldn't smoke in public, all that kind of stuff. All right. Well, my dumb ass wanted to know why. I mean, I want to ask Miss Daly. I said, Miss Daly, I don't understand that. I said, well, why did she get to tell us? Why Emily Post get to tell us what to do? This one person, in my mind, that was one person's opinion. Okay.
Yeah.
And she said, well, because she wrote a book about it. I said, well, because she wrote a book about it, I wasn't smart enough then, but I remember but when I learned later in life that Hitler wrote a book too called Mein Kampf. Was that, should we all follow that? But
I know.
what I questioned her, she said, well, she told me the very same thing that you said, basically, that she wrote a book, and the reason she's an authority, because I want to know what makes her to be the authority on etiquette. And she told me that because people accept it, nobody questioned it. And so, therefore, she's the foregoing authority on that. Maybe it's folks like you had to question it, maybe she wouldn't have been. But since you don't want to question it, you fall in line, kind of a thing. That's what you're supposed to do. And I
If
hear
it's in
you.
black and white, if it's in
Yeah,
black and white, it's like gospel.
I know.
But that's like the vows, Vernon. Think about the vows. The vows are not in the
The
Bible.
Bible, yeah, yeah.
You know, who nobody questions that, and I'm sure they have a spiritually correct answer for it. But
But
I questioned it.
I know. You know what? I didn't know that until I heard you say that one time. You said,
Yeah.
"Well, vows not." I never questioned it. I assumed all along those were God's words, and that maybe that what kept me married for 51 years. But I thought that was God's words until I heard you say that, and then but then I checked it out. You're right, absolutely. They just words that somebody penned, and we all
Right.
decided that we all gonna fall in line with it, right or wrong, right or wrong, or indifference, right?
For
So
better or for worse, till death do us part.
yeah, that's the problem. But you know my thing about that. But anyhow, I think we ought to have expiration dates on marriage
Expiration
license.
dates. I know that's right.
On marriage
I
licenses,
know.
yeah,
Make your
yeah,
own. Make your
yeah.
own. So it's like,
But
oh, you're going to break the vows that you made before God? Um, who
that,
wrote those vows? You know
that
what I'm saying? And now
yeah,
people are writing their own vows.
and maybe that is the key, vendor. And they say that you made before God. Maybe that's what they're looking
Right.
at. I didn't make those vows. Hell, I didn't know nothing but all I know was just what to say I do. Okay, and so hell, I didn't know who made the vow. I just assumed those of Jesus himself had penned those words, and I dare not break them.
Hmm. It makes you question a lot of things when you
Oh yeah,
start figuring, you know,
yeah,
instead of just going with the flow.
yeah,
It's amazing to me as I grow older, the things that I accepted
yeah.
and who I would have been. My mother used to pull my lips, literally pull my lips because I was talking back. Vernon, I just wanted to know why. I questioned. I was using my voice. I was stating my opinion, but I was young, junior high school. I mean, she literally pulled my lips
Mm.
because I talked so much. I just couldn't accept. I just couldn't accept what somebody was telling me. I wanted to know more. So it
Yeah,
wasn't like I was being disrespectful. Why I got to do this? Or
yeah.
why this and da da da. I wanted to know why. So I
I,
even had to tell my supervisors that when I question you, I'm not being disrespectful. I just need to know why I'm doing this. Why is it done this way as opposed to another way? It's just
I,
who I am.
Me too, Liv, and I think that's what we're like in many ways. When that I can remember when I was a child, right? And this whole idea about Santa Claus, it just to me, I had to understand. I couldn't understand, and I went looking for evidence. And then right after Christmas, I went out and see it's in his tracks and the thing. Look on the roof and see anything. But I couldn't figure out that big fat ass white man could get down that little narrow chimney we had, and but every time I questioned it, they said, "Shut up, or don't you? You're not
Yeah,
gonna get nothing for Christmas." Shut up, kind of thing.
yeah.
But here's a silly one I told somebody just the other day in my life, and I may have told you this too, because you accept people's word at face value. Okay. See,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
mama didn't believe in us eating at other people's houses, and her thing is because we was always well fed anyway because We was on a farm, but we raised pigs and cows and vegetables and all that kind of stuff. We were well fed. But her thing, but she always used to feed other people's children, and she figured that the other people didn't have enough food to feed their own children, and so but she lectured us into saying that you don't go to other people's houses eating at other people's houses, no question about that. Okay, and we never did, and I want to fast forward 15 years later. Okay, when I'm 19 years old, I went to Cleveland, Ohio, to stay with my sister for December, and I had a job to trying to earn money to buy me a car, right? And these kids in the city, they like to have parties. When we have parties, we go to house parties and you dance at the house party, and we didn't have much. We didn't have like food at the party. We just had a party, okay, and you go home. But the kids, I explained to me why they were so fat. But the kids up there, when they have parties, they like to eat, And when I used to go to their parties, and I hear my mama's voice, when I see that food, don't you go to nobody's place to eat. Don't you go by. And I never eat at those, as hungry as I used to be sometimes. I swear I stay true to my mama's word. And so one day, LaVender, true story, my next door neighbor, Carmen, she had a party one in the afternoon, and I didn't go. My sister said, well, how come you're not going over to Carmen's party? I said, because all the thing they do over there, they just like to stand around and eat. And I said, I don't want to be looking at them folks. He said, why not? I said, Mom told us we can't go to people's house and eat. She said, you dumb man, go on over there. Go on there. And I'm 19 years old, and that stuck with me until I was 19 years old, that I still couldn't go to people's houses to eat. So I just said that to say one day, I never questioned my mama. I know her theory. I know what she was thinking, but I never questioned it. And then I followed it to the law. And that's what we're saying too, again, about people. I think some things you should question about it. Okay. And if you don't sound right, look right, question it.
Yes. 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 Yes.
And then get your lip pulled off.
I remember telling my mother when I think I was getting ready to go to high school, I wanted to have a baby without getting married. Ooh. And I didn't want to get married. I just wanted to have a baby and raise a baby myself. I didn't want the whole traditional. It just didn't make it. Isn't it something that I was thinking that way back then as a young girl? Yep. I don't know what was in my head. I really didn't know how to rationalize or to navigate through my thoughts and process, because I didn't have anybody to talk to what was in my head. But I questioned a lot. I even remember telling her that I wanted to marry somebody in the Navy and was on a ship so they could be away for 6 months. This was as a young girl, so it's like, dang. You haven't been thinking this.
So you always been a man hater from a kid.
I've always been an independent woman who questioned what was accepted by society. Marriage, and we talked about how a woman has to give up her name. Vernon, that just never processed. I don't know. I wonder who I would have been if at that young age I verbalized it more, like I verbalize it now.
You wouldn't have had no lips. Your mom would have knocked them off again. Instead of pulled them off, you would have knocked them off.
Talk about knock them off. She used to tell us too, you're going to be looking for your eyeballs. Like, how can I look for my eyeballs if I don't have any? I questioned that.
My mama used to say, shut up, I'll snap you into next week. Into next week, ma, huh? Yeah, I'll slap you into next week. And if she couldn't do it, she sure would try. I
Oh
didn't.
my
I
goodness.
didn't chance it because I know she meant what she said.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that is funny. Funny,
Yeah.
funny, funny, funny.
Yeah. But
Oh
hey,
boy.
that's just the way it is, LaVender. But your point is, yeah, I think sometimes even in relationships and things just don't sound right, or things is we got to respect people individuality, just like you.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
so
yes, yes.
understand that.
That's the word, accept,
Accept.
acceptance. And that's what we have a difficult time doing is accepting people where they are
Yeah,
and who they are.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's good. That's a good way to end the show, Vernon.
yeah.
Acceptance. When we learn how to accept people, the world would be a better place.
But you know how hard
We,
that is, though, LaVender.
we
People,
want people to think like we do.
yeah, I know, but people would not accept. I had the same conversation with my granddaughter today about accepting people for who they are. You can't change
Hmm.
them, just accept them.
Mm.
And I always tell folks,
Yeah,
I said, well, just read that serenity prayer. Okay, just read that and believe that serenity prayer, and then just you can't change people. Just accept them who they are, and just
I
pray to deal with it. Yeah,
know.
yeah, just deal with it. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Just love
Yeah,
them,
yeah,
in
yep,
spite of the differences in thoughts and beliefs and the way they live their life. You know.
yeah. LaVender, we're gonna have to go, but let me tell you this before I forget. Next week for our next show, I figured out the problem that we had on your audio. Okay.
Oh, it's my audio.
Yeah, yeah. Your audio. Mine wasn't an issue, but on your audio, what it was actually remind me next week if we start, if we start skipping like that, I had to go in and lower the bandwidth. It was just you didn't have enough bandwidth to at the high wherever I had it set on, it was too high, and it wasn't enough bandwidth, so it wasn't getting enough. So I had to go down and lower your bandwidth, and everything is
Okay.
fine. So remind me of that next week, because I'm an old man and I forget when, and
Okay.
I'll try to figure that out all over again. Why in the hell is this doing this again?
Okay. The
Okay.
bandwidth.
The
Lower the
bandwidth, yeah,
bandwidth. Okay.
just lower the bandwidth, and that's something good to you. If you got on your podcast, if people start clicking, that means that the bandwidth that they at is too high. Because you're not getting enough bandwidth to support it. So you lower it a little bit, and
So is that like the volume?
yeah, it would like the well rather than when I say that rather than you having it at 720 kilobits, or you might want to put it at 360 or 260 or something like that. You do a right click on it. It'll tell you what your bandwidth is. Okay.
Okay.
It's just like it was just too high it was just too high for our connection. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And the
Okay.
quality, the reason people put up higher bandwidth because they think they can get better quality. It may and it may not. Just depends on if you're looking for if you're looking for $1,000 and I only got $800, that's all you're gonna get is $800, and so that means you
Hmm.
coming up $200 short. The same thing. So I had to download and say, okay, LaVender, I want $800 instead of $1,000. So when I gave you $800, then everything's good. That's an
Okay.
analogy is what I'm talking about. So
Okay.
sometimes you
Okay.
can have it
Well,
too high.
thank you for that. Thank you. I learned something tonight on top of what all the other things I learned.
Okay. All right. We
Appreciate
gotta
that.
go. We gotta go. But we again see you again next week's
Next
same.
week,
Next, you ain't gonna skip now. You ain't gonna skip out on me like you did last week, are you? Oh, you
I
didn't
was out of
tell them.
town.
Oh, I forgot. Oh man, I forgot about the Vegas trip. We should have talked about your Vegas trip. Okay,
Well, we
but
can
we'll
talk
talk
about
about
it
that
next
next week.
time.
Okay, write it down now, so I know
Well,
you're an old lady. You'll forget. Let's talk about the Vegas trip because that's an important thing
okay.
we need to talk about. All right.
Sin
Okay.
City. All right.
Yeah, and Sin City. I'm surprised a Christian like you would even go to Sin City.
Hey, it was
You
a
ought to be
business trip.
ashamed, huh? You
It was
ought
a
to.
business trip.
Oh yeah,
I
that would be.
know. I know.
Yeah. Okay, sugar.
Yeah, but what stays in Vegas?
But you do
What's
in
the
Vegas.
phrase?
So you do in Vegas, stay in Vegas. Did it?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah.
What goes
It
on in
used to be
Vegas stays in
in Vegas.
Vegas?
Well,
I
that
don't
used to
know.
be until social media came about. Now what goes on in Vegas, everybody knows
I
what's going on.
know, I know. What happens in Vegas is going to be all over
All over the
social
world.
media, all over
Exactly.
the internet.
All right,
Okay,
sugar. We'll see you
Vernon, we'll
next
see you
week.
next week.
All
Okay,
right.
bye bye.
Holla.